called meeting to order. This is the regular meeting of the Jones College Prep LSC, Wednesday, January 15th, 2025. Kyle, are we rolling?
We are rolling!
Oh, look at this. Thank you, Kyle. Our tech wizard has got us up and running. Appreciate it.
I will say we're waiting for our bilingual other person to join.
Oh, great. Okay.
When they join, you'll probably hear a ding, but maybe we can add that to move them up when that happens.
Yeah, we'll take them out of order when it's...
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But they're not here yet.
Perfect. Okay, cool. We'll proceed as is then. So I'll ask Melissa, do you mind doing a roll call?
Adam, Dominique, Carrie, Kyle,
Present.
Sam,
Present.
Francis,
Here.
Sarah, here, Michael, Max,
Here.
Baiju, here, Heidi, here, Heather, here, Lachlan.
Yep.
We have a form.
All right, quorum has been achieved, so we will move forward. We'll go to item number 3 on the agenda, which is the approval of the agenda for this meeting. Noting that we will have to probably take a couple but I think this agenda as presented for the January 15th, 2025 meeting.
Second.
All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Motion passes. Agenda is approved. We will take care of a real quick order of business number 4, the approval of the minutes from December 11th, 2024. Give people a second if you have any questions, concerns, notice any errors or omissions. All right, hearing nothing, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented from December 11th, 2024.
Second.
All right, all approved say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. No, any abstentions? Motion passes. Minutes are approved. We do have public participation set for 5. I'm going to take a couple of reports out of order though, because we do have both our bilingual committee folks with us and Friends of Jones. So is it okay if we do? Is that good? Okay. We'll take our bilingual committee report then up first.
All right, thanks. Give me 1 second to switch our stream.
En que se pueden aplicar y habló de que de las pruebas Access se aplicarán a los estudiantes informando que la prueba provee información de las habilidades en inglés académico de los estudiantes. La prueba mide el dominio de los estudiantes en escuchar, hablar, leer y escribir en inglés.
We're going to be reading the CMPC summary. The CMPC meeting took place on December 2nd, 2024. Ms. Suarez, our secretary, just read the first part. The BAC members were giving a report by Dr. Kareem Asaf, which gave them a number of schools that were giving BAC funds. They were also giving a list of expenditures, and Dr. Asaf spoke about access test, which will take place from Wednesday, January 15 to March 4th. The test provides information on how students can acquire language proficiency through supports in the classroom. The test measures students' proficiency in listening, speaking, reading, and writing in English.
Doctora Fabiola Facta, directora de los programas extranjeros, presenta el plan estratégico de las escuelas públicas de Chicago 2025-2029. En la visión y misión se busca que cada estudiante tenga educación pública de alta calidad y prepararlo para el éxito postsecundario. Cada estudiante sea escuchado y tenga una experiencia rigurosa, alegre y equitativa.
BAC members were also giving a report from Dr. Fabiola Fada Ginsky, who is the Director of Foreign Language Programs at Chicago Public Schools. She shared with the parents the strategic plan for 2025 to 2029. In the vision and mission, it is thought that each student has quality public education and is prepared for post-secondary success. Every student is heard and has an equitable, joyful, and rigorous experience.
Oportunidades después de secundaria. En el 2023 hubo un porcentaje del 84% de graduación de estudiantes de high school y se espera que siga aumentando las probabilidades de graduación en las futuras generaciones. Continuar el crecimiento en lectura y matemática, mismo que aumentó posterior a la pandemia. En el 2023, el 49.1% de estudiantes de high school han obtenido créditos de colegio. El año pasado, más de 5.500 graduados del distrito obtuvo casi un semestre ganado de créditos universitarios.
The BAC members were also provided statistics that had to do with the opportunities after high school. In 2023, the graduation rate for CPS was 84%, and the district will work to continue to increase rates of graduation in the future generations. Continued growth in reading and mathematics, which increased after the pandemic. In 2023, 49% of high school students earned college credits in the city of Chicago. Last year, more than 5,500 district graduates earned nearly one semester of college credit.
Plan estratégico de CPAs. Éxito para los estudiantes afroamericanos. Vías al bilingüismo, estudiantes con discapacidades, aprendizaje temprano, éxito postsecundario.
There were also shared the CPS strategic plan, which includes African American student success, paths to multilingualism, students with disabilities, early learning, and post-secondary success.
Importancia del multilingüismo. Mejora la función cerebral. Mismas oportunidades a todos los estudiantes de CPA. En estos momentos hay 243 programas de idiomas mundiales en todo el distrito. Estos programas ofrecen instrucción en 11 idiomas mundiales.
Parents were also shared the importance of multilingualism. They were told that multilingualism improves brain function, equal opportunities to all students in CPS in terms of language acquisition. Currently, there are 243 world language programs throughout the district that offer instruction in 11 world languages.
Prioridades y metas visionarias de OMME. Ofrecer múltiples vías para que los estudiantes dominen más idioma, para que se gradúen de high school dominen más idioma.
Parents were also shared the strategies to achieve these goals. Expand dual language and world language programs in elementary schools and high schools. Improve the quality of bilingual programs and services for English learners. Strengthen foreign language and dual language Spanish-English programs and expand them to more languages.
Estrategias para lograrlo. Ampliar los programas de lenguaje dual, idiomas mundiales. Mejorar la calidad de los programas bilingües y servicios para los aprendices de inglés. Fortalecer los programas de idiomas extranjeros y de lenguaje dual. Inglés y expandir a más idiomas.
Okay, and lastly, we had our Jones BAC virtual meeting, January 13. During this meeting, the Latino Policy Forum presented a workshop that focused on navigating the college-ready journey. Our next meeting will be virtual on Monday, March 10th, from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Mr. Sergio Neri will be presenting a workshop on 7 powerful habits you should teach your children. This workshop will be virtual and in Spanish. The dates and times for our workshops can be found on the Jones website on the BAC page under the Parent tab.
Por último, tuvimos nuestra virtual del el 13 de durante la sesión, el foro de política presentó un taller que se centró en cómo navegar el camino hacia la preparación universitaria. Nuestra próxima virtual en marzo del mediodía, el señor Sergio Neri da un taller sobre 7 hábitos poderosos que deben las fechas y horas de nuestra sitio web en la página y con Ruiz Sober.
This concludes our report. If there's any questions. Thank you so much.
On the stream. All right, I think we are ready to proceed.
All right, we're going to take one more report out of
Hello. Check. All right, I think our owl is live. Thank you.
Hey, hello again. So, Yvonne Loza, Friends of Jones. I'm just here to give you all a quick update. first, I want to invite everyone to our next community meeting. It is on January 27th. It'll be virtual. Usually we have them live, but this one's virtual. We're going to be having a law firm present to us what you need to know when your child turns 18 from a legal perspective. Zoom link is on our website, but it'll also be included as part of the legal bulletin. Please spread the word if you know anybody else who wants to join, and mark your calendars. That'll be a good one. Our fundraising teams have been very active, planning away at the year. So wanted to share a couple highlights to look forward to later in the year. So in February, you'll see communication about Love Your School. It's a campaign we've been doing for the past couple of years. It helps raise money, of course, for amazing school. So it is in the spirit of Valentine's Day. So you'll be seeing communication come out asking for money. But also we will have a live activation that we do in the school as well, and the students will enjoy. Another one, we are going to have a new fundraiser this year. In years past, there's been like a 5K in the fall. It hasn't happened the last couple of years. This year we want to do a stair climb. So as we know, Jones is very different than a lot of the other schools where we have these crazy stairs and our students, climb them every day. So we want to really embrace it. So we're thinking about doing a, Jones version of like Hustle the Hancock type of thing as a fundraiser. So that is going to be planned for early March. It's going to be called Flight Fest. So look out for communication on that. We're getting all the details figured out, but that will definitely be families and students signing up. There's going to be prizes for individuals as well as groups who want to sign up. But keep your eye on that. We're excited about that one, first year for that one. And then our annual online auction will be happening as well from April 25th to May 6th. Communication will also be coming out soon because we need help getting things. We need certificates, we need stuff to auction off, right? In the past, like tickets to events and things like that have gone really well. So we reach out to parents or for you all, if you guys go places and say, hey, I frequent this a lot, are you willing to donate something? All those things really help. Huge auction happens, and then obviously all that money comes back to the school. So look out for communication on that. That's coming. And what else? Oh, more information will be housed on our website. If you do go places, the form, the vendors will just have to fill out a form. It'll be on our website as part of, I'm sure, Eagle Bulletin and all of our channels. So look out. But just keep it in mind if you're out there and think of somewhere that you can donate. We'd really appreciate it. That's it. Any questions?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. So we will return to our normally scheduled program and run a show here. We're going to go back to public participation. So that is item number 5. The first item I want to put out there is we are, as required by CPS, before we dedicate the South Auditorium sound booth to Charlie, we need to provide opportunities for public feedback specifically around that. So that was posted in this agenda. If I do not think anybody is signed up to speak to that, if there's anybody out there that is wanting to speak to that, you can speak now. But otherwise, this is one of the opportunities of record for us to have open forum on that. I don't expect we'll have anybody opposing the concept. It's a great idea and a great way to remember somebody who's so important to the school community. So, but you'll see this as a recurring event for the next couple of months, as we're required to do before we officially dedicate the space to Charlie. Now we'll move forward with our sort of more traditional public participation, and Jim, you are the solo one on the sheet, so feel free to come up and join us if you want to pull up a chair maybe, or
For this to go into closed session because
You prefer this?
yes, and I
Okay.
don't want to record it either.
All right, so
Sorry.
the request to shift to closed session, based on the content which for the last meeting. So we will go shift into closed session, which means we'll have to ask our live stream to go not
All right, let's roll.
Oh, we're out of closed session.
The stream is live.
Okay.
Hello, stream.
What time is it?
It is
We are
7:17.
back- Yeah, 7:17, we're back in open session. Moving forward, we're done with public participation and officially moving to our reports.
You want to wait and make sure Melvin doesn't want to say something before you close public participation? I can hear him.
No,
He's
he
on his
didn't-
way.
He didn't sign up.
I think it's implied.
No, I know this.
Slater, did you want to talk? Did you have something to share tonight?
I'll listen to you all and I'll decide after.
Well, public participation was about to close, and I didn't want it to close without asking you if you wanted to share anything. Because that was the kickoff of public participation that led us into closed session. So then the next thing would be to close public participation, but if you want to share something, I don't want to gloss over.
Well, I didn't have anything to share at the present.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you as always for being here. So, we'll start with.
Only thing I would just
Yeah.
probably say, and I'm gonna reserve hopefully some time later, is you might wanna put public participation, seeing that I'm part of the public, at the end, because sometimes we're listening and we might wanna ask questions. But if we have it at the beginning, y'all talk everything, we like, well, I still have something to say. I don't think that kind of fits right.
It is a mixed bag, because we've had some feedback that people don't want to stay through the entire business of the meeting if they have something specific, but I hear your point that there might be something that you'd like to speak to.
We could have a question and answer session.
We will have a Mr. Slater slot.
You know, it's probably needed and necessary.
No, but I appreciate that feedback.
And then also, if you're gonna have a closed session that you know you're gonna have, you might wanna have that at the end.
Yes.
And
I
then
mean,
we
we
can all
did not know we were
That
going to
was
have that one.
unexpected, it was
This
a
was-
surprise.
Just a little impromptu. So
All right.
hopefully most of ours will be a planned closed session moving forward. That's the goal. So starting just a very, very brief chairperson's report, I do want to mention about the student elections for the 25-26 LSC term, especially because we are losing at least 2 of our members to graduation.
So are you guys 1-year terms?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So we have the nomination period opens January 27th. It goes to February 7th. Elections follow from February 10th to the 14th. So that is kind of the time frame. I'm pointing mostly in this direction because this is our school-based staff / student section over here. So please spread the word, get us some good students just like we've had. It's been super helpful to have great student representation on the LSC. The other thing, Jones Athletic Booster Association, there'll be a report on them later, but I did want to highlight their Swing for the Eagles event. It's for F-O-R-E, because it's golf. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's set for Saturday, February 1st, 7 p.m., Ravenswood Golf Club. The social tickets are $50. Golf ticket, if you want to participate in that, is $75. It's working towards raising money for a Jones bus, like one of those mini buses, which would be amazing
Yes.
for sports, for clubs. Like we could not have to rely on these, crazy expensive buses. We'd still be
I
some of
love that
them,
you
but-
love my vision.
Oh my God, every month I'm like, we need a little bus.
Yes.
Because I take 6 kids to things a lot of times. We
Right?
spend a lot of money on
That's
buses for
exactly what
6
it's
kids.
for.
So
They're empty
that's
buses.
the vision, is to have a Jones bus that will help us cut down on some of the transportation costs for example, esports
Yeah.
or cross country when they go downstate, like those smaller teams and clubs. We're still working out a lot of the logistics, including how insurance is going to work. But that is the ultimate goal, and we genuinely believe that after the initial investment of the bus, we are going to very quickly recoup those costs.
Oh, it'll be within, I think, months.
Less than a year, yeah.
I mean, you guys are spending so much money on buses.
We easily spend over $150,000 a year on busing.
Yeah. So, yeah. No, so this needs to happen, but it happens quicker if we help our boosters raise the money. So come out to the event. I'd love to put a foursome together from our LSC if anybody's golfers.
It's a Saturday.
It is a Saturday. It's Saturday, February 1st. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yep, February 1st, 7 p.m. So think about it if you're available, even if you're a very bad golfer. Just
Is
think
it
of it
real
as,
golfing or like?
it's
I
indoor
don't know.
simulator,
Oh.
so it's like you're hitting against the screen. Think of it as like a little bit more than mini golf, but not much. It's like top golf.
I was gonna say, isn't it like Top Golf?
Yeah, kinda, yeah, except you're
But indoors.
traditionally, they'll actually project like a real course, and usually it's a really nice course. And so you can like play Pebble Beach because it's like virtual.
So it's like virtual reality.
And usually it's a little more forgiving than real golf.
Yeah.
Because they want to make you feel good about yourself, so, yeah, so come
All right,
out,
thank you.
it'd be fun. So we'll shift to principal's report then next.
All right, good evening, everybody. Our current year-to-date attendance as of the 8th of January last week is at 92.6%. Our on-track rate is still sitting at 96% because it only gives it to me on a quarterly basis. Our enrollment as of the 8th was sitting at 1,929 students. 1,929 students. As far as faculty and staff updates, our new head of security has officially started. We're so happy to have him. You look so unexcited, Max.
He's very nice.
He's so nice. So Mr. Dickerson, his name's Frank Dickerson, he was the head of security at Sullivan High School, and he actually had worked with our former head of security who came to us from Sullivan, and so came to us very highly recommended, and seems to be really acclimating with the team, starting to kind of just get to know the building, get to know our staff, get to know our students. We also have a new diverse learner teacher who has stepped in. Ms. Ostert has started. She came to us from a charter school and has really hit the ground running with her classes. We're really excited to have her. We have a SICA position that's currently posted, and Mr. Brown just resigned effective last week. And so we have another DL position that we are currently hiring for. We do have the JABA fundraiser coming up. I know Sam already kind of talked about that. Other updates, so we're going back to December. I worked with the JCP Volunteer Corps to successfully run our Cocoa Cookies and Kindness event. It got a little chaotic. I don't think I fully appreciated what it was going to be like to get bum rushed by 300 kids at 7:45 in the morning for cocoa. But overall, I think it went really well. The students who did participate seemed to really appreciate the cocoa and the cookies. And it was just like a nice little thing to do for everybody right before break. We also had a great showing at our staff winter celebration. We had like 50 or 60 staff show up to our staff winter celebration, which is really nice. It was down the street at Poncho's rooftop. And they were very gracious and gave us the rooftop space basically. So that was really nice. I was also able to welcome students and distribute tickets to the Nutcracker the Friday and Saturday before break. Yes, we went because we had to supervise one of the nights. So we actually got tickets donated from Tickets for Kids, and I was able to distribute those to some of our students to go see the Nutcracker for free right before winter break. We have been working very hard with our team on finalizing our new ACLAB guidelines. We've been working through our schedule for staff. Ms. Fast is very kindly, I think, maybe collaborating with Ike on the lesson plan, or is she independent?
I'm not touching the lesson plan. She's
Okay,
making
so
the
Ms.
lesson plan.
Fast is very kindly working on a lesson plan that's going to be shared with all of our teachers so that they can sort of impart what these changes are going to look like during our last Eagle Lab of the month on the 31st. So staff will have a lesson plan to kind of just walk through what the changes are. They'll have the guidelines for both staff and students, as well as the schedule to kind of walk students through how to identify where they can go. And that'll all be shared with teachers prior to that Eagle Lab. Our favorite thing, the 5 Essentials survey is opening soon. Get ready. Please respond honestly and positively, but honestly also. We are currently in the midst of finals week, as I'm sure our students are aware. And we've had a pretty smooth go of it with the extended time finals, so that's all going pretty well. ACT prep is running in full swing. We had a couple initial hiccups, which I fully admit were mostly my fault. I didn't realize that we had negotiated down our cost to 16 hours, and I completely forgot that we had done that to save costs for our parents. And that meant that students were supposed to sit for the diagnostic last week, and I accidentally told our kids that they were going to class. So on Monday, I had to personally go to the classes and tell the kids to go home. Oops. This week, with the exception of Monday, classes met virtually. That was not the initial plan, but we shifted to a virtual model for Tuesday through Thursday, just responsive to the fact that the kids were going to be all over the place. Some of our kids end at 11:30 and are able to go home. Some of our kids have extended time and are here until 3:30. So we wanted to allow students to log in whether they were here, whether they were at home, and just allow them that flexibility to access the course. But starting next week, the courses will be fully in person. And they will run through the week right before spring break. We ended December with over 14,000 Go CPS applications.
Wow.
So you can do a little mental math. We are harder to get into than a lot of Ivy Leagues. That's real.
How many students do you take? I gotta do the math.
I know, and I'm curious.
We take 500, but not all 500 come from that number.
Yeah, that's true. So like 450.
Well, we take,
Less.
give or,
75 is the.
well, this is,
Yeah.
75 is CTE, but then we get another 20-ish from principal discretion that are not in that number
It's
either.
really 400.
Well, I think that the CTE applications are included in here, so it would be like the 475-ish, 460. We've started planning for International Day. Our first meeting with the students is going to be on the 27th of January. I'm super excited about what International Day has the capacity to look like this year. We've already got a grant that's been approved by FOJ for the catering portion of it. So I'm really looking forward to that. And again, I think I communicated this, but the goal is to have sort of the commemoration for Charlie be in tandem with International Night. We're working on finalizing some new course offerings and our dual credit expansion. I'll be talking on the next professional development day to staff just around like kind of why we're doing some of this dual credit expansion and what the goal of that is. I received a $10,000 Roberts Award grant from New Leaders, which is the organization that I did like my principal prep through, to build a transition room for students in our cluster program. What that will effectively look like will basically kind of be like a mini studio apartment in one of our classrooms, where students will be able to go in and practice the life skills that they'll need to effectively matriculate out of high school and potentially live independently or with less support. And so we'll be purchasing a bed and a fridge and some cooking appliances. Some of the grant will go to fund venture cards so that they can go to the store. Some of the grant will fund groceries so that they can buy items and bring them back and practice basic recipes. Some of the funds will pay for enrichment for teachers and SECAs to actually spend time in that room with students after school. So I'm really excited because that's also going to go hand in hand with a program that we are joining a pilot for next year called Transition 3950. Which will allow for students in our cluster program as well as potentially some of our students in Gen Ed who have IEPs with significant needs for support will be able to travel to Harold Washington once a week and take occupational prep for college credit, which is an incredible opportunity in terms of how we provide access and equity for our students who need the most support but have the least access to college credit bearing classes. We are planning the PD for 121. I do have to send out an updated agenda because, of course, things changed. But now you guys have an hour of self-directed time at the end of the day.
That's great news.
I know!
Yeah, actually. Yes.
We have been identified as an emerging proficiency-based learning school site after the site visit that we had from the district. That was kind of what we anticipated. We're in like the very beginning stages of implementing proficiency-based learning. However, it's super exciting because being designated even as emerging comes with support, and support means money. So we will actually receive some funds to support some of the work that Caitlin's doing. They'll actually pay her a stipend for the work that she's doing as like the CBE PBL coordinator. They also are going to fund some of our summer programming. So the Math 3 class for acceleration. We've also been talking to Russ about doing like a dual credit calc boot camp so that students who go through college algebra feel ready for that dual credit calc class. I'm not sure exactly how math wants to play around with that. I'm sorry, that wasn't it. It was for AP Calc. My bad.
Yeah, I'm like,
it was an
we have a lot of
acceleration-
things going on. I know there's a lot of
acceleration
conversations
class
about
for AP
math
Calc.
classes.
And then potentially also, and then it would also cover summer civics, summer AP computer science or ECS, whichever one they decide to offer. So we'd be offering both acceleration and mastery school potentially, so support and acceleration for students. I've been working with JABA on some new initiatives around school spirit. We had a really good meeting today, and I'm really excited about some of the things that we're talking about. I think that they're going to be working more to try to just investigate some different ways to infuse school spirit and do outreach. I am going to unfortunately, however, miss the Swing for the Eagles event because I got funded to go to the Courageous Principals training hosted by Deloitte in Texas that weekend. So the Department of Principal Quality is funding the opportunity and we just had to pay for the airfare. So I'm super excited. I've heard really, really good things about this training. And basically we come with like a problem of practice and work with colleagues from across the country, although there will be a lot of us from CPS there, and basically collaborate and work to hone our leadership. After a walkthrough before Thanksgiving, we're getting additional cameras installed to improve our current blind spots. PACE is still in the process of doing that installation. I heard that they were making quite a bit of racket outside one of the North Building classrooms during finals yesterday, so their timing is not ideal, but we are excited about the outcome. As you all know, I'm working on a commemoration event for Charlie. We are hitting a massive roadblock with what funding looks like. I'm collaborating with FOJ to see what we might be able to do in terms of like a special drive or something, but if any of you are like deeply connected to like specifically like the theater parent community, I could use some help with this. And then lastly, I'm currently doing outreach for donations for Teacher Appreciation Week in May, so to add to the requests for donations, but I've already gotten some really generous donations already for our raffle, so I'm really excited about that.
So if the theater parents were looking to support, how would they go about donating money?
Ideally, there would be like one really reliable theater parent who could set up a GoFundMe on our behalf because the CPS Office of Ethics won't allow principal don't do it.
Okay, so you have to be outside the school through,
Yeah.
okay, got it. GoFundMe you would be
Because
a
then
way,
they'd
yeah.
be able to just directly purchase the lettering and the plaque. And then I could just direct people to the GoFundMe like I did for Charlie's sister.
Got it. Understood.
Which I'm also not supposed to do, but I feel a lot more comfortable doing that than opening a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
So the people who do the GoFundMe would be the ones who purchase the plaque?
Correct.
So you can't do it. You can't do it for CPS. No, it's pretty simple, yeah.
And then I wanted positive recognitions. I wanted to shout out SGA for a successful Winter Spirit Week. Good job, guys. I also wanted to just share some gratitude to the students. I went into the South Cafeteria last week. I can't remember which B day it was, but it was during ACT Lab, and the South Cafeteria was dead as a doornail. So I just wanted to celebrate that. I think what was happening was that you guys were talking to your teachers before finals. And maybe also anticipating the shift in the social space policy, but that was probably aspirational in my head. But you guys were talking to your teachers during finals, which made me really happy, so thank you.
Or you found all the best hallways to hide in.
Right.
And lastly, thank you to our ACT Lab committee, namely Mr. Eck and Ms. Fass, for their hard work on making sure ACT Lab changes are smooth and equitable to the extent possible and roll out effectively and fairly. Thank you.
All right. Thank you much. We'll shift on to our next report. Let's see who we have next. Is it Java? Yeah, because FOJ already went, so we're on Java. So Dan provided me with some updates he wanted me to convey to the group. First, they continue to do Pack the Nest and pool nights, continue to hold these events for basketball, hoping to host a Pack the Pool night for boys swim/dive soon. Fall Sports Senior Night, honoring the fall sports team's seniors at the boys varsity basketball game on Thursday, January 23rd during halftime. Free pizza to JCP students, t-shirt toss, cheer team, and Billy the Eagles perform, so very exciting times. And promoting JCP whiteouts, so all should wear white. And TBD, band might be performing as well. We already talked about the Swing for the Eagles event, and then varsity letters. All varsity student athletes will receive their varsity J and a certificate going forward. The fall team, they've been awarded already. The cost of actual J is covered by the JABA, and the letters will be awarded retroactively to all current JCP student athletes, meaning if they lettered in a previous year, they will get their letter. The varsity store, there's a link that we will include in the minutes. Fulfill the first round of varsity jackets. Student athletes can purchase a variety of items to showcase their achievement: jackets, hoodies, frames, etc. The store is currently open, but jackets are back ordered, just so you know.
We got our J.
Got your J.
You have to
Soccer J?
order it, it's
Yeah.
free.
But you do have to order it.
You have to order it, it doesn't just come to you.
Okay, perfect.
Java site. Yeah, whatever that link is.
Yeah, varsity store. But I think it is on the Java site as well.
Yeah.
Next up, we already did the BAC report, so we shift to our teacher reports.
Yeah, I'll add some stuff on that
Okay.
at the end.
Okay, so the PPLC held our monthly meeting with our administration team last Thursday. At the meeting, we began by talking about how we can make our meetings more productive. We plan to do this by giving more structure and focus to our meetings and making sure that we maintain our focus on the mandated provisions of being an PPLC. In addition to bringing forth the concerns of faculty, we will have main topics for discussion with long-term goals to address. So kind of give specific, we're going to be concentrating on this or that. So like some topics might include a push for the push for dual credit, what was mentioned before, CBE, PBL, ACT Lab, Eagle Lab, discipline, and extracurricular support. We also plan to continue surveying staff on these issues so that our discussions can be backed by data. We did that with the morning announcements, so just to have quantifiable that it's not just 2 or 3 people who have these concerns. In addition, we discussed the following issues. So communication and discipline, we requested the possibility of regular updates on discipline incidents and enforcement like had been done in the past. I think Dr. Fay predates everybody here except for you and you. But he used to send out weekly updates that included like quick recounts of discipline incidents in the building without names, along with other items such as the number of times parents were like contacted about tardies, elevator infractions, and kind of giving kind of a quantifiable update about those things. The administration said they would consider it. AM announcements, we asked that the morning announcements are focused on more immediate items that couldn't be covered by the afternoon announcements that happened during Eagle Lab or ACT Lab, which would be either later that day or the next day. And we are still getting reports that the announcements are unintelligible in the north building, and that they can't really proceed because you can hear it, but you can't talk over it or so. And the last one was visiting French students. Teacher raised an issue that visiting French students that had previously been able to sit in on classes for a week-long exchange will no longer be able to do it. The administration clarified that when this was done in the past, it was against CPS policy. The French partner school, for one, was not the current one is not registered, and also, according to policy, it needs to be a full semester long.
That's just for an exchange. To clarify, we actually talked to 2 of the French teachers today after school, and they were able to get an MOU with the partner school.
Oh, okay.
We weren't against having the student here.
No.
We just wanted to make sure we were aligned with policy, and
Yeah,
it looks like they were
right.
able to do that.
Yeah,
So we are going to be able to do that? you said?
I believe so. They did share that they had an MOU with the school. We shared the other steps that need to happen. The student needs to go through an orientation. They need to have like an itinerary for the student. All that stuff needs to go to BRSAO at OMME. But it sounds like we should be able to make it work.
That's great news.
Yeah, and my daughter participated in something similar at Von Steuben, where we hosted a student for a week, and then the following year, she went there for a week and was hosted by their family. So it cuts down costs, and you get the whole experience. So
Yeah, no, and
it's a
we've
great-
told them that if we can continue to develop MOUs with some other partner schools, like we're eager to grow
Yeah.
the program.
And then,
So you kind of killed my last sentence.
Oh,
While this is the policy, we were hoping the efforts could be made for the state program, so. Looks like,
Something positive happened. Check.
so that's all we have.
yeah, well, I can share a little more about ACLAB because I've been doing a deep dive with the ACLAB committee over the last month or so on the redesign. I've been going to more meetings than I'd like to about ACLAB and trying to kind of listen to feedback from students and staff. I talk to staff a lot, but I've asked my students, and I attended the student forum when I met with meetings with admins. So I'm really trying to just make sure we get all perspectives in. And the changes going forward in the second semester is we're moving to just 2 social spaces in the ACLAB. This is the South Cafeteria and the library. So here and 1 floor down. And sort of the competing needs are, we have, staff felt stressed by having to monitor the social spaces. Like it really did put a lot, I mean, we've talked about this before, but it put a lot of stress on staff's schedule. But we also heard students' needs that they need a place to be in ACLAB. And like, I genuinely believe that, I agree with them. They need a place to be, they need to be able to find rooms and have spots to go, because if they're not allowed to be in the hallways, they gotta be able to be somewhere. So I think this is as meaningful a compromise as we can come up with. What I've been working on and our ACLAB committees is just really clear directions for staff and students with color coding and things so that you can know when you go to a social space, here's what you do and here's what the expectations are. That's for students and staff that are monitoring. And when you're in the hallways, or hopefully not in the hallways, when you're in classrooms, what are the expectations? How can you find your teachers? We have a nice document that's like very readable. So we are really hoping that this goes well, because I think the changes to ACLAB in the fall were just stressful for everyone. Like I felt the stress from students, I felt the stress from staff. So we're hoping that we're balling this up in one big thing we're gonna serve out and hope it really goes well.
Nice.
We shall see. There's still some stuff left to go. We're working on the teacher rotations. And I hope that we can do some good publicizing and like get these things all, now making all these documents, get them in a spot on the website, and so the people can find them, they don't get buried.
Cool. Well, appreciate the update. Look forward to hearing how it goes. I'm sure I'll hear from at home how it's going too.
Oh yeah! Hopefully only good things.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We all hear, we hear about ACLAB all the time, in all perspectives.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a question. Are y'all have a data strategist, right?
No,
No?
like we have one at the network level.
Yeah, the
but not-
network level.
Kind of. We had one at the network level, and then she got promoted to above the network level, but we still get data from our data strategist. She's just not at the network level anymore. She's also a
Okay.
Jones parent.
Oh, cool. Well, I was gonna say, if for the discipline data points, there's a data strategist in Network 8. Her name is Rebecca Mitrovich. She does weekly reports, or she used to, that had the discipline touch points on it. And if she is not there or doesn't do them, then I know Zach Pikowski is a good contact as well.
Okay. Good, cool, thank you.
That's great. Thank you so much. All right, anything else for our teachers? All right, we'll shift over to our students.
I have one more specific announcement, which is pretty exciting. So the seniors in the law program who are doing their internships, there's now an opportunity where 35 of them will be able to get paid for doing what they already do, which is go to their internship. They just have to go an additional 10 hours. So that's very exciting. A lot of kids like Michael and I in the law program are super excited about that. Yeah, that's really all I have. I'm sincerely apologize I have to leave a little early because I have to study for finals. But yeah.
How dare you be responsible?
No
Go
apology
study.
needed for that. That's a great reason to leave.
Yeah.
Anything else on the student side?
Thank you.
I don't have any like issues from the students that I've heard so far or any problems, but I will say that like the finals week this week has been going smoothly from everyone I've talked to, and even though some people have told me that they don't like how the ACT lab is like in the middle because they have to move around classes a lot, but I feel like that can be a small arrangement that can be mitigated in the future for future finals. Yeah.
We actually bumped it up so that we weren't forcing kids who didn't have a second final to stay. We were trying to be nice.
We also like, I think there could be more flex in the middle, but
Yes, 'cause I feel
it's
like-
nice to have that a longer gap in between. I feel like I have fewer kids that are late to that second final,
Yeah,
which is something
that's
we
nice
have.
too.
Give you a chance to kind of have.
Yeah, you have
Ready for the next
time in between your two tests.
Yeah.
Change gears.
Mental-
Because just so,
Change gears.
when I came in, the ACT lab check-in was actually at the end of finals.
right.
And we changed it second semester last year.
Is another option, just spitballing, like, could it be the 8 a.m., like first thing in the morning as an ACT lab check-in and then the final start?
Could, however, that is the sole basis for attendance during finals, so I'm a wager that it's a little better.
In the middle.
Middle's okay. Just tough.
I appreciate the idea, though.
All right. Anything, Michael? Nothing. All right, we'll shift over to Sarah with Parent and Guardian Affairs report.
So we met on December 20th. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parents who came. We reviewed the minutes from the November meeting. We talked about the Google form that is live, and we have been getting some reports. Thank you, Ms. Dolan, for including it in the newsletter. I did look downstairs, and I don't see our QRS posted, so I'm going to work on getting it posted. I literally forgot to put it up. Dan had given me advice on like where different places on the second floor, the first floor, and the 7th floor to post it, and more visible things. So we do have a QRS, so we can post the QRS, people can scan the QRS, and then it opens up your parent feedback Google form. So the question is, how do we make it more visible in the school? So we're working on that. All suggestions are welcome. There was a lot of discussion about sports, all things sports related. There were concerns raised by the lack of gym access over winter break. There was concern that this impacted swim and basketball, and that other people were able to find places to practice, but not all teams were. It was acknowledged by the people who presented it that this was a CPS level decision, it seems like, and not a Jones level decision, but it was worrisome to sports parents. There was a lot of positive appreciation for the transparency around the ACT Lab changes and the opportunity for community feedback. One thing that was suggested was like a FAQ, frequently asked questions, to be shared about the ACT Lab for parents or anyone who's curious about the ACT Lab. I don't honestly even understand it.
We've kind of been mocking up both a context document and a guidelines document.
Oh, there you go. See, you're ahead of it. There was discussion, I'll just read from my minutes. There was discussion about how to balance speaking up and advocating for your child without having them be at risk for retaliation. We discussed de-identifying concerns via the parent suggestion box. Again, our QRS, which you can scan, goes to Google document. We keep things confidential, and we don't disclose what's the name of the people unless they want us to. But it is an avenue for people to bring forward concerns without necessarily needing to do it in a public forum. So one of the concerns about that is that if you have very specific feedback, like, I don't like my oatmeal raisin cookie today, you quickly identify that I'm the one who had the oatmeal raisin cookie. So how do you de-identify feedback? We talked about that for a little bit. And then we talked about this playing time, and the coaches needing to have a 24-hour limit before discussion. So perhaps parents should keep their emotions in check. The last item was about whether or not we do a parent survey in the spring. Should our little baby parent affairs committee do a survey? Is there a bigger LSC survey in the spring? I could not remember. We certainly don't want people to have survey fatigue. But there was some discussion amongst this group of parents about whether or not we should be asking proactive questions about future academic years. So I don't know if we do an LSC committee, if there can be 2 or 3 parent-related questions. We reiterated that the goal of our committee is one of an avenue of advocacy. And then our next meeting is January 24th at 4 p.m. on Friday. Very popular time to have a meeting. You wonder why we don't get overwhelming support.
Thanks, Sarah. Any comments or questions on that? I will note it on the survey front, we will be sending out a principal evaluation survey sometime in the next month or two. But that's really the only official LSC survey that goes out. So certainly open to other.
That's really winter, so maybe.
Yeah,
right.
Do a spring survey.
Yeah.
I think that'd be totally fine, and it will not be fatigued. 5 essentials will be coming up, but this can be after that window closes.
Okay.
The only other thing that came up at the parent committee was that we would love to do something for open house, for having more teachers at open house. We know we've already talked about it, but if there's anything we can do to have more teachers at open house that are at least maybe, I don't know if this is possible because all the kids are in different grades and different levels.
Are you talking about curriculum night?
What are you talking
Curriculum
Yeah,
night.
Back to school night.
Back to school night.
Oh.
Just to have every teacher there back to school night. So at least the people who show up for the first year are like 9th graders, like, I got to meet my teachers. It'd be lovely to meet them. At least once, get a name and a face together somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's true. The parents who wanted the survey to prove that parents want back to school night, and they wanted teachers to attend back to school night. I was trying to edit it a little bit. And be
Yes, and I
vague.
just like, this is what we want. This is what they want.
Yes,
This is what's coming up
But
over and
that-
over
know
again.
what people want to.
Yes, yes. But-
They're asking for it to go back to how it used to be, where you
Yes.
go from
They would
the
like to
room.
meet teachers early on in their child's
And
career.
What did we
Yes.
do this year? Because I forgot. I wasn't.
It was-
It was like departmental.
Yeah.
English, math, like that. But I think some of the younger parents were really wanting to get to know their kids. Individual
It
teachers,
was-
yeah.
Yeah, it was nice in the
That
sense
one
that you
year
didn't have open blocks when nobody was there, right? Because I would
Right,
go to the first
exactly.
period, be with a teacher, then have second, third, fourth, we're not there, and then, so this, you talked to somebody, you got great information, it was really streamlined to what you needed to know, here's the grading policy for English, here's, whatever. But, I think people do miss that personal touch, but I also think that shortly thereafter, you have the parent-teacher conferences, and
Right.
maybe just really kind of reiterating that's going to be the time. So if you're coming here thinking you're going to meet with, because I came last year kind of thinking at first, and then I looked back at the email, I was like, oh, I won't see the teachers this year. And I think if this is every year, we just do it this way, people will get used to it, and they'll be like, I'm going to come to parent-teacher conferences to actually get face-to-face.
But I don't think there are enough spaces at parent-teacher conferences, the other aspect of it.
For the virtual especially,
That's what I was saying.
yeah.
So just things to think about.
Yeah, it used to be the parent-teacher conferences were in person in the cafeteria, and you knew who was a freshman teacher.
Based on
Because
how many visits
he
they
has
got.
he has a line going out the door, whereas I'm just kind of sitting there and doing grading, even though I have sophomores and seniors, so.
I think part of the context of why back to school night has changed so much and why it was hard to get, this year we didn't have many teachers participating because the year before I think we had very few teachers participate, and part of it was just miscommunication between you guys weren't even there. This was the temporary, the year of madness. There was miscommunications about the flex days and when teachers would be paid for that time and made up for that time. And so I think just from our end, there's a lot of hurt feelings about that thing. You know, it's like a sensitive thing, and so that's, I think it was maybe a wise choice to take a year where we're like, no, you don't need to come in. But I liked it. I missed it. So I always like to go, and I do think that there could be more staff willing to do it if we could kind of get people on board. It's just a battle to get the staff.
I think the general, like, I think vibes at the time were just like, a lot of the feedback I was hearing from parents was a lot of frustration over not being able to see the teachers that they wanted to the prior year, and kind of exactly what Sam was echoing with, like, hey, I came in and I got to see 2 out of the 6 or 7 of my kids' teachers. That was a waste of my time. And so I was like, cool, I'm gonna make sure it is not a waste of your time. You are gonna see somebody from every subject area, and they're going to go over curriculum because it is curriculum night. And so the idea then was kind of people could engage in a presentation that would kind of walk them through sort of where their child was in the pathway of that specific content area, what curriculum they'd be receiving that year, and sort of what pathways or what those next steps would look like for students. And I think a lot of our families conflate what back to school night and parent teacher conferences. Because really, even at back to school night, there's like a, hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. But it's not the, can you please give me a 15-minute in-depth report on how my child is faring, which is genuinely what a lot of these parents are looking for.
And it was never that. It was always kind of
Oh,
like,
no,
we
I
can't, we don't have
know.
the time.
But I think that what our parents
I
are
know,
envisioning
I
is
know.
not aligned with how it actually
It's
works.
probably what
I'm
they
not
experienced
sure.
more in grade school, right?
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but grade
it's
school was
not
never
sure.
about individual feedback. That was always about, here's what we're teaching your kids this year.
Right, and I do think for like other schools and stuff that have it, like the back to school nights often second, third week of school, so no one's expecting feedback on their child. I think they're expecting not so much the curriculum, because you can read your kid's syllabus and learn the curriculum, but like more, what's the style, you know, what's this teacher like, what's their vibe, are they supportive, are they not, like, are they gonna give a million times of homework, what's their late homework policy, like, I don't know, I think what the parents who choose to participate in the Parent Affairs Committee are very much in this pro back to school night committee, but we're also the ones that, the same way you guys have high emotion, some of us are still scarred because, I mean, my kid had 2 teachers in every class and I was over 15. I was like of all my children and all their high school experiences, it was one of my low points in life that I was like, what have I done wrong? That like, she's literally not a single person, you know what I mean? Like it left me like a lot of just emotion that no one at Jones cared about my child in any way, shape, or form, who actually had 2 teachers in every single class and we had nobody. So it was like shocking and stunning, but I'm sure a lot of it was like communication, because there were signs like so-and-so's here and all the lights are off and the things are dark, so sorry, too much information. But some of us are still scarred from that experience.
I just wonder if there's some way to have the curriculum night be like this group thing, but maybe more of the teachers are there. I don't know what it was because I couldn't come this year.
I wonder.
But it sounded
Can
great.
you accomplish the goals?
Yeah,
Right.
parents would, what if, now I'm assigning teachers a lot of work that they're gonna complain about, but like, what if all the teachers recorded a 5-minute video about their class, and that was all posted in a central spot, so then you could watch that video from the teachers.
I think that would be helpful.
idea.
I think that's a beautiful idea.
And then the curriculum night with the lower staff for folks that wanna be in the building and sort of get the broad curriculum, like, just to separate things.
Or have dinner. Doesn't dinner help everybody?
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't dinner make everyone happier? And people show up at things.
That's an interesting idea.
No, I think it's a great idea, because I think what you want is like, what's the vibe of the teacher? What are their policies? Are they back? Are they strict? Are they this? Are they that? Like,
Yeah.
you can get that in a 5-minute video.
And that's something that we could, like, that recording of that video, I don't know when PD days fall
Right.
in around that, but if it's set up right, such that maybe that,
I mean, honestly,
that we have a
people do
PD
it
time that
during
we could
0 week.
record videos.
We could do it during 0 week.
Could.
There's a PD day on.
Zero week is very full of planning for the start of school.
I think there's one, when is the curriculum night usually?
It's usually end of September.
Because it's like, there's a PD day next year, like September 26th, I want to say, so like the last, like Monday, the last week of
I
September.
love that you already know that.
Yeah.
I do a lot of
Already going, what, we have 2 days off next week?
But yeah, like if that's a thing where it's like, hey, that could be a day we kind of record our videos and then they get posted in the next timely, that could be something that we.
I will say though, I think that if the Parent Affairs Committee is willing to sponsor dinner for the teachers who do come next year, they will, that is definitely something that people would appreciate.
Okay.
Higher turnout, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Since that was a suggestion. Everyone loves food.
Yeah.
All right,
I'll
shall
put
we?
that on our agenda.
This is good stuff. These are good ideas. Let's move to the budget report next, because that we had some items we got to approve, and that really will be the last thing we got to do. There weren't any checks that needed to be approved for this month. There are some budget and book transfers. We'll talk book transfers first. It is the one that looks kind of like this in the packet. So there are, let's see, not very many this month. Let's see. We got 4 of the book transfers. There's a transfer of funds to cover the purchase order for Academic Approach, which Principal Dolan, as she reported, is underway, and those services are being rendered. Transfer of funds to cover buses for sports. Transfer of funds to cover equipment and other expenses. And then transfer funds to cover purchases and other expenses for department and operations. So those funds are going out to the different department budgets. Any questions on these transfers that are presented here? All right, if not, I will move to approve the book transfers as they are presented.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Any abstentions? Motion passes, and we will shift over to the budget transfers. Budget transfers are in very small print, so this is an eye exam. If you look to read this, but I will walk you through it. There are just 6 of them. We have one of $207 to transfer funds from sports to delivery line for majorettes, $406 for the aforementioned Courageous Principals event travel agent, $300 diverse learner workload reduction bucket benefits, and $18,700 for diverse learner workload reduction bucket. As I understand it, that is to cover costs of IEP writing for our diverse learning team.
And those funds do not come from the school.
Yep, do not come from this. $50 transfer funds to cover science order for food items, and then $10,000. This is a book transfer to put funds that they were in the wrong budget line basically, so we're just shifting some money around. Any questions about those budget transfers? All right, then I will move to help us approve the budget transfers as presented.
Second.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. All right, any abstentions? Motion passes. Budget transfers approved. On to the final order of business, which is our fundraisers. We have 3 of them for this particular month. We have the Muslim Student Association. There is a henna tattoo fundraiser that they are proposing. Is that? Oh yeah, yeah, that one's on the back, I guess, there. Then there is one from the debate team. They are proposing a Potbelly fundraiser to support their team. And the last one is from our mariachi club. They are doing Valentine's Day serenades, which sound fun. So that should be a
I
good
can
time.
already hear Yoni's guitar.
They've done it before. It's a nice little student band. They've come in my research.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds really fun.
I can't bring that back.
All right, any questions about those fundraisers, any concerns about them? If not, I'll move to approve these 3 fundraisers as they've been presented.
Second.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. All right, any abstentions? Motion passes. We will look at, okay, we've got old business. Lachlan and I discussed, he's gonna send out some messaging separate from this meeting around the principal evaluation process. We will be moving forward with that really shortly because we have some tests we gotta take in terms of getting the survey approved before it gets sent out to students and families. We'll start kind of diving into that process, so that'll all be happening in short order. Our next meeting, is it okay to skip positive recognition since we've run quite a bit long? If anybody's got something they want to add, please feel free. I do want to acknowledge our Mr. Slater speaking spot. If there's anything, Mr. Slater, that you'd like to add at this point in the meeting before we adjourn, please let us know.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Never pass up an opportunity. This is probably more directed towards the parent committee. And I learned this from my English department peers, CER. What does that mean, Michael?
CR?
CER.
CER.
Claim, evidence, reasons.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
Second for senior only. There's no need for that.
I kind of caught in there, and I keep on hearing here and there about teacher retaliation. If parents ask, or students ask, or demand, whatever word you want to.
It was all about athletics, so I think we should separate it out, because it wasn't teacher retaliation, it was a concern about different coaches. There were multiple different examples shared in a confidential environment about different sports.
Okay.
So I don't
all
think,
right,
I don't want us to confuse issues, because there's been zero conversation in any of the parent affairs committee about teacher concerns or teacher retaliation. It's all been related to athletics.
Okay, I'm glad to hear, because I was going to ask where was the evidence, but never mind.
There's not been there's been no discussions or anything brought forward on any of the Google forms or anything about any teachers.
Okay.
There's been issues and discussions and concerns brought forth on the confidential forms about different sports.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you much. Appreciate everyone allowing us to go a little bit long so that we could deal with that issue in closed session. We will adjourn, and next meeting will be February 12th, 6 p.m., same place. All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Yes,